Hi guys, welcome back to another coding video. And by the way, this is my channel where you will watch stories, coding, and sign language. And well, now I'm going to be unboxing some toys. So, Dad, what are we learning today?
Hi Bareera. Okay, so in previous video what we did, we created variables, we assigned it a value, we created another variable and we assigned it another value. So those values, they are like two data types. The first is the string, which when we write English language we call it string, and we use those inverted commas excuse me. And then we use numbers for the age. Number is the integers in programming language, and this is another data type. So then we printed all those three variables we defined, and at the end of the video we said, okay, we will create a sentence, and in today's video we will complete this sentence, and then we will move on to a basic math. Okay, so when we print, let me do another print here just to remind it. Print, and I say my first variable is name, my second variable is age, and third is country. So when we print it, I will look at the very last line. Okay, so I will look at the very last line, which is Bareera 10 and Ireland. So this is Bareera, the first is name, and then age is 10, and then, but if we need to write that my name is Bareera, my age is whatever it is age, and I live in, and then we select the country, we use string, and then we use comma, then variable name. So here we will use inverted commas, and I say space, and my age is, when I say age is, this is how it will be written. We give a space and then comma, and then we call the variable age. Again we'll say, and I live in, and then comma, and if I print it now, it will print in as a sentence. So my name is Bareera, and my age is 10, and I live in Ireland. So this is how we join the different types of variables with strings. Okay, so today what we will do is we'll move on to basic math. We looked at numbers, so we will use numbers. So I'm going to comment all those code lines, and on my Mac I will press Command and K. Oops, no, not Command and K, sorry, my apologies. Command and slash. Command and K is when we clean the terminal here, sorry. Okay, so we will create a variable and we will call it number 1. Bareera, give me a number, any number.
17.
Okay, so we have number 1 as a 17, and then we create another variable, we call it number 2, for example. Give me another number.
10.
Okay, so make it 10. Okay, so what we did here now, we created a variable, we assigned their values. So anytime we use number 1 in this program, it means we are technically saying it is 17. So if I print, I want to print 10 on my screen, so what should I do?
Print
Print
and write number 2 in it.
Exactly. So when I say number 2, the computer knows that we assigned value 10 to our number 2 variable. So when I do print, it will print 10. Okay, so let's do a little math. So first we say we want to add these two numbers. So I create another variable, add, and I will say what I will say. So how do I add them?
So first you need to write number 1
Number 1
space plus
plus
space number 2.
Okay, so basically what we are doing here is we are saying add is equal to 17 plus 10. So this is basically we are doing it, but because we have variables and this value can be changed at any stage, so we don't want to use their values. We just say number 1 and number 2. Okay, let's see what is the result. So how we will see result on the screen here at the bottom.
Below the add value, write print, and then write add.
Okay, so what it will do?
It will print 17 and 10 because we made a variable which contains number 1 plus number 2.
Yeah, so it will not print 17 and 10, it will print the result of number 10 and 17. So when I say hit run, it says 27. So when we add 17 plus 10, which is 17. So make it easy. If we want to write here that when we add these two numbers, the result is, we can say a string. We open a string and we say when we add number 1 and number 2, the result is, and then I will say, I will come out from my string and I will use a comma and then I call the variable add. So now the result says when we add number 1 and number 2, the result is 27. Okay, so in future we will use another type of string which is called string. So instead of saying number 1, we will actually give number 17 or whatever is the number, but we will leave it for some other day. Okay, so let's do subtraction now. Subtraction, don't mind my spellings. Okay, subtractions, I hope it's the correct spellings. Okay, so how we will subtract number 2 from number 1? So we will say number 1 minus number 2. Simple. The way we did plus, we just did subtraction now. Okay, again we have to print. What I'll do is I will just copy it so we can learn another thing. So we can copy and paste, and I can just change when we subtract number 1 and number 2, or number 2 from number 1. The result is, okay, what should I do here?
Subtract.
Great. Subtraction. Okay, so if I run it again, the first print which printed here, this one,
the add one,
that when we add number 1 and number 2, the result is 27. And this time it says when we subtract number 2 and number 2 from number 1, you can say, and the result is 7. So when we take 10 out from 17, the result is 7. Okay, Bareera, I'm going to hand over computer to Bareera, so Bareera can do the multiplication. Okay, so if you want to multiply number 1 and number 2, what will you do?
So first I need to make a variable, multiply. Okay, and let's do number 1. Okay.
In programming, when we have to multiply, we hit shift and 8. So this is static, that means this is for the this is a sign for multiplication. When we do by pencil, we can say X, we can cross it. So this is basically multiplying number 1 and number 2. Okay, so print the result of it.
That's easy.
Okay, that's good.
So print, let's open the function, and let's first make a string, and let's write when we multiply number 1 and number 2, the result is, and what are those two dots called?
Column.
Columns. And 1 second. Space between the string and the columns and comma. And now let's write. Wait, I just realized something. This spelling is wrong. I put N. Well, now let's write multiply. Multiply. Done.
Okay, so run it and see.
Let's see. Okay.
So what is
first,
the result?
when we add number 1 and number 2, the result is 27. When we subtract number 2 and number 1, the result is 7. When we multiply number 1 and number 2, the result is 170.
Okay, so the last part is we will do the division. Okay, so again, division is equal to, I will say, number 1. Okay, to divide in programming we use the slash, and then I'll say number 2, and similarly we will say print. I will say the division result is, and then I will call the division. Okay, so this is our video for today. What we did, we created two variables, we assigned them some value, and then we started adding them. First we created a program which will add two numbers, and then we printed the result. Then to see the difference between two numbers, we did subtraction, and then we said number 1 minus number 2. We have shown its result, and then multiply two numbers and then divided those two numbers. So this is it for today. Or maybe what I can do is I'll just go ahead and change this number. I'll make it 100, and this one I'll make 50, for example. So if I run Bareera, will it show us the same results?
Nope.
Why?
Because we changed the value of number 1 and number 2.
So we changed their values, and now it will show us their results. So previous results are gone because we changed the numbers. So all of them, okay, let me clear it. Okay, I'll print it again. So when we plus 100, when we add 150, 100 plus 50, which is 150, of course, and then when we take off 50 from 100, the result is 50. When we multiply 100 by 50, it is 5000, and when we divide 100 by 50, it is 2. So the result is 2. So this is it for today, and in the next video we will continue our math, and we will try to make a calculator, not in the next video, but in next 2-3 videos. First we will learn the basic of the math in programming in Python, and then we will create our first calculator. So that's it for today, and thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.
Bye. And I hope you learned some coding from this video. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.